Sir, if we are about to put fullers into these questions
Uh-huh,
and then mentions about the eight desiderata,
correct.
and but the thing is, I'm not sure how to relate it to the question right now.
Very good question. Let us try. Macam mana? You know that he's talking about the eight requirement, right? In order for
Yes.
the law to be a good law. So looking at the problem, so what is the problem there in the first paragraph? Let's do part by part, right? So in the first paragraph, everyone, if you look at the first statement of the paragraph, the question, in the democratic state of Fulistan, the corrupt leader, President Bumba, is known to be giving away financial perks to an influential family, the Shalos. Bumba has survived numerous votes of no confidence, and members of parliament who have kept him in power represent more than 30% of the voting population. So any issue here, legal, in terms of the problem that is asked of us.
About the vote of no confidence.
Okay. Vote of no confidence. Okay. How do you, is that representing law? Meaning, does it reflect that there is a chance for them to initiate a law? Because vote of no confidence is a process of law, meaning the law has already been identified. There is a chance for you as a member of parliament, if you don't feel confident over the leadership of the country, obviously you can initiate the vote of no confidence. So this so-called vote of no confidence must be reflected in the what do you call it, in one of the laws of the parliament, right? So is there any issue there? Rasa-rasa, guys, try. You don't apa this
Is the 30% is the problem?
you rasa 30% tu macam mana? The
So
member of parliament who kept him in power.
because it's not 50
Majority.
simple majority.
Simple. More than 30 does not, it can be 70. More than 30 means if it is less than 30, then it might be an issue. Ada isu tak? Rasanya kita tinggal dulu the first paragraph, right? Since there is no concrete issue about the apa, it's just an introduction to the problem. Okay, Prastin, Guardians. I tengok soalan betul lah. Okay. Now we are talking about PGS, right? Oh, somebody wants to come in. You're looking at the PGS, the rebel. Okay.
The problem is how the organization works
How the organization work.
through arms trading, plantation of coffee crops, and illegal activities.
Okay, you know for the fact that everyone knows that he is or this group is supported by unbecoming punya behavior, right? Okay, the facade of all the illegal activities is a legitimate sprawling corporate empire. Meaning, what is the activities that they are doing? Legitimate. How do they make that transaction legitimate? Corporate. Money laundering, kan? We are talking about money laundering here, where sprawling corporate empire of the corporate. So in other words, the illegal money was money laundered and cleaned off, and then it was injected into the corporate. In the activity of this corporate empire or legitimate corporate empire, secret meetings are held to organize cyber attacks and disrupt public services and governmental machinery. So di sini dia tak kata the Shuvera regime is going to be challenged, right? So we have another incoming group that is trying to destroy Shuvera's position. So through minimal violence, they eventually succeeded their coup, right? And the new regime under the Shuvera. So you, in order to give your opinion by virtue of 8 Desiderata, how do you do that agak-agak? You're talking about the legality of the what they call it, coup, right? If you're talking about the legality of the coup, meaning the law that the law have to be in a way acknowledging, the law have to be in a way acknowledging their coup is being considered as okay or not. So how do you do that with the 8 Desiderata? Yang Granom senang kan? There is no issue about Granom. Granom is whereby the Granom of the society does not change, and whereby looking at the society, they don't obviously accept this particular person because the method that they use does not conform with Granom. Macam mana guys? So I want you to participate. Ali, macam mana? Alice, mana Azabullah? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
it seems that only a few that I can rely on for the discussion to move on, to move forward. So macam mana? Kalau kita ambil 8 Desiderata, what is the first requirement?
The first requirement is the law must be general. It specifies rule prohibiting or permitting behavior of certain kind.
If you're looking the law, he's talking about the decision of the court, in meaning any decision that is applicable to the society in general, right? So nak pakai dekat decision, boleh lah kita pakai dekat decision. This is more or less talking about legislation punya law, you know. But you can create and counter by saying that you must provide apa orang kata, if you want to, anyone who wants to have a coup, that particular coup must be within the provision of the law, meaning all the 8 Desiderata must be met first before say for example the coup can be taken over by the society. Boleh ada ke in that sense? Ada logik tak? If you prepare a law, right, you can suggest, because this is just your opinion, right, in order for you to prevent certain people to stay in power, obviously you need to have a law established before that. Okay, nampak tak? Dia kata before whom the legality of Shuvera regime is being challenged, meaning sebelum that so-called succeeding of the coup took place. So you can always create a law saying that to prevent people from committing or taking coup towards the society by establishing a law that comprises with all the 7 elements by virtue of the the 8 Desiderata, 8 requirement. Boleh nampak dekat situ?
Boleh, sir.
Kalau grant,
I think
macam mana?
boleh, sir.
At least
For before they implement a law, the law that they made must be clear so that the citizen they know what the law prohibits, permit or require.
Okay.
And well, most importantly, the law must not contradictory.
Meaning, to prevent people from, say for example, coup, the law must be in a way that prevent that particular situation taking place, and it has to be in a way that is not imposing on the society certain condition that is impossible for them to follow.
Yes.
Otherwise, dia akan jadi dictatorship lah. So in this way, it is not dictatorship because there were numerous vote of no confidence. However, kalau dictator, there is no issue of that. So you apply, ambil satu, you try to apply. In the exam, if say for example 8 is too long for you to discuss, you can take 2 or 3 and elaborate, and the rest you say that the same goes for the rest of the requirement. Because banyak sangat kan, 8 kan. In order for you to concentrate in answering each one of the requirement, to elaborate on them, it is going to be too taxing. So what you will do is you present your argument for the first few, or maybe take 3, say for example, then you start to elaborate on that. Once you have done that, then you would say this argument of line of argument should be applied to all the other 8 Dasaratam 8 requirement. If you want to do that in total, kalau 1 sampai 8, what you can do is touch and go lah. So if you want to go in depth, you go one or 2 or 3 elements, and then in depth, and then you can always the rest you assume that it has to be the same day. So either way, it should be okay, because you have other juries that you want to talk about. So you won't be able to spend so much time under one particular person. Kalau Kelson, I think it is straightforward, right? Macam mana nak jawab Kelson? Granom. How Granom takes place in this particular preparation of your opinion?
First, we define what is Granom as proposed by Kelson.
Okay.
And then we, with regards to such as this question, which is coup d'etat, we refer to the application of Kelson theory in the case of BP and Mitchell, BP against Mitchell, where there are 4 requirements.
The 4 requirements you bawa ke tengah, and then we will discuss that, eh?
Yes, and apply.
Okay. The rest macam mana? Are you okay? Do you have any question on that? That we have a situation of application of 4 requirement under that particular case, and you can always go back to the principle of Granom, meaning the what they call it, the legal norm and the superior norm. The ordinary norm and the superior norm must be in line with each other. So they are coming from when they create the coup, right? So when they took over the country, so they are at the top, but they must be able to ensure that every other institution that is in the system will be able to support the change that they are making. If they are unable to ensure that all the system is intact and would be not in contradicting with one another, then therefore the coup might be valid. But in this particular situation, you can always put the situational condition where they are acting in a way that is against the law, and therefore they would not be able to have such legality in terms of taking over the country. by virtue of the valid coup. Boleh nampak guys? Itu on Kelson, Granom. Kalau other than that, let's take another person that we can put in. Siapa lagi yang kita boleh masuk? Kalau kita ambil Islamic, boleh tak kita ambil Islamic?
Boleh, sir.
Because it does not state that this particular federal court is bound by a certain legal system, right? So you can open up saying that since the question is very general, it does not state the legal system that is being applied by this particular state of Kurdistan. So I'm going to discuss the perspective of Islamic as the one of the jurists, point of view. However, it will not be a way that you can discuss about specific juries, but the Islamic principle is to be applied. Okay, so you can apply the main principle of Islamic by virtue of Al-Quran and Hadith, and the person that is to be a leader would be those people that is good manners, and they are not doing all these what they call it negative activities that will impact or jeopardize the society in general. So it's gonna be like quite simple. We don't have to come up with authorities for that. Kalau kita pakai Akinas, how about Akinas? Siapa yang boleh bawa ke tengok Akinas? Atika, macam mana? What do you think if you were to introduce?
For Aquinas, I think since his theory is on divine law, so maybe something pasal just kot, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. You want to uphold dia punya argument in terms of just law. Should you reject by rejecting President Bumba just because he is utilizing his position to give some kind of benefit to certain group family, influential family, the Kalos? Would you be able to utilize that to say that you can go against the law and throw away the government?
Yes, I think boleh buat macam tu juga kot. Like there is law, so it won't be good if we like overthrow the law just to macam tu lah.
Dia Akinas dia kata unjust law is not law, obviously, right? So we are not talking about the law. We are talking about the activity of that particular person. The President Bumba doing certain things that is unprofessional. It's not legal lah kan. Here, if you were to apply Akinas says that as long as the person is, the government is continuing, and we have, what they call it, we do have some negativity or negative elements that is being conducted by the government, that does not give the rights of the society to remove the government. So in this particular situation, if you're looking at from the perspective of Akinas, though certain things that is happening or being created by the President Bumba, trying to give some unfairness or in a way that that is considered as something that is seen as negative, but that is not justified for the society to wake up and try to conduct coup, because by virtue of the legal position, here we have the vote of no confidence has been you know, acted towards him, but still he survived. Yeah. And the fact that he is being represented by a certain number of percentage from the society, therefore there is what you call it, acceptance by the society. Why I'm saying here is that we cannot apply what do you call it, we can apply Aquinas, where he says that even though the law is unjust, we still have to continue with it. We have to still accept with it, because it does not go against the fundamental principle of the society, which is, maybe if you change President Bomba to Hitler, right? If you change the name President Bomba to Hitler, then that might be justified for you to create the coup. So, in your opinion, you can say from the perspective of what do you call it, natural justice, or Thomas Aquinas, you can say that though some negative elements that is happening within the government, or activities that has been done by the government, still you are to follow the what they call it, the law of the land. And then you cannot throw away the government as you like. Yeah. Yang tu kalau kita ambil Aquinas. Kalau kita ambil somebody else, let's take somebody else, guys.
What about Savigny, sir?
Pardon?
Savigny?
Savigny. Okay. If you were to take Savigny, how do you apply Savigny? So you know Savigny's idea is that what is
The spirit of the people.
the spirit of the people. Okay, good. If the spirit of the people, let's look at the spirit of the people then. Does the spirit of the people change?
I think, yeah, because they gain force through a minimal violence.
Mm-hmm.
So when they get their power through minimal violence,
Mm-hmm.
it somehow, that doesn't include into the spirit of the people, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's look at the fact that even though there is a minimum violence, but the minimum violence was taken by virtue of their role in disrupting public services and government machinery, meaning the attacks that they have been doing is actually attacking the system. Yeah. So attacking the system does not reflect the society, the spirit of the society. Meaning the spirit of the society, if you look at the first paragraph, they are able to maintain, the President Bumba to continue with his power, even though there are numerous votes of no confidence were acted against him. So the first paragraph is actually reflecting the spirit of the society, meaning they just want to continue with that so-called government of choice, of their choice, and they would not be going to the extent of receiving any other government. So because the argument that you said, oh, dia orang tak ada apa-apa pun, it was a very smooth transition, does not actually reflect the whole society's standpoint. And the whole society standpoint can be seen by the member of parliament. So they who were represented by the society, they represent the society, right? So they actually kept him in power. So by that notion alone, it shows that actually they are doing nothing wrong, because the spirit is not changed. If the spirit is changed, say for example, you change again, I put another example, President Bumba to Hitler, then obviously the spirit can obviously change, because the nature of the character or the behavior of this President Bumba is definitely in question. Because the method or the way he administer the society is in a way that is going to be so harsh, And you know, what is the standard of harshness? Meaning killing people without legal justification. Okay, just because you say that law is law. So in this particular situation, my point of view, my opinion, if I were to utilize that, I would say that the spirit is still there, because the president is being backed up by member of parliament. Uh, that is not justified for another group of people to take power over the country in a coup, yeah, without the legal method, yeah, meaning going to for election and then establishing voice of majority, and then to say that okay, we don't want you anymore, we won, we got the majority, yeah. So therefore the spirit has changed, you know. Remember, I always put example of Barisan Nasional being changed by the new coalition, right? Because the spirit has changed. Because or if you look at 30 years ago or 20 years ago, Barisan Nasional is so strong. They are in control of 2/3 of the parliament, right? They maintain a majority of the parliament for a few terms. That alone reflects the society, you know, society acceptance towards the method of government that they are conducting. Boleh nampak guys? A lot of thinking that must be done in answering this question, because if we don't do that, then it's going to be a bit of a problem, because you know the jurist, it is how to relate to the problem. Now when I say how to relate, the one that you having problem with, I think everyone is having that problem, right? How do I implement that? This is where your art of maturity of your answer, you can use your common sense, you can use whatever information that is given in the question in order for you to come up with your logical argument. So that argument that you want to say is up to you. You don't have to be worried whether you are going to make mistake or not. By not being able to say anything or commenting or being critical about the application of the juris, kan, you are going to be in great trouble, because the answer is expecting you, the question is expecting you to answer in a mode of application, or in terms of opinion. If you were to state just a jury's point of view without the ability to relate to the problem and coming out with your own opinion uh, from the perspective of juries, remember, so you're not answering the question. Uh, so whenever we check our students' exam answer, that is the most lacking. The fear, or the keyword is about the fear of you not being able to tie up to the problem that is given. Boleh guys? Itulah kita ada buat practice ni in order for us to have that flair or ability to link into the problem that is given. Questions, guys?
Sir, I have a question.
Good. Yes. Sabni.
Um,
Sorry.
About jurist Karl Marx.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure about his view, but what I remember is Karl Marx talked about abuse of power. So is it something relatable to this question?
Yeah, maybe, because the first thing that is in my mind, since I think I've made that mistake of introducing Karl Marx, is whereas you are supposed to discuss Karl Marx in Juris 2. However, since the syllabus is going to merge, Juris 1 and Juris 2 is going to merge into one subject later, maybe next year. But okay lah, you can always put in Karl Marx. It's okay, because it was my mistake of introducing Karl Marx now. Since you are knowing that, so you want to put it in, I cannot reject it. yeah, I will accept it. Now, that is number one. So number two, you're talking about Karl Marx. Since he is able to be used in answering this question, what is his stand?
Sorry, but I'm not so sure about his stance. But from what I understand, it is about like a law, even if it consists of abuse of power, but since it is still a law, so it is valid. Something macam tu.
Because when it comes to Karl Marx, he is saying that we are being manipulated, meaning people of the people of rakyat lah. I mean the people, I mean the society, is being abused by virtue of the law into economic oppression. Okay, so it is economic in nature. So those who are in power, actually they wanted to be in power because they want to abuse the financial or economic position of the society. So coming back to the first paragraph, it is stating that President Bumba is giving away financial perks. So that is his manipulation of the situation that he is within. So we are talking about financial. Yeah, if the word financial perks, we are talking about financial. It is economic. It is about money. Money that is being received by those who are in power, i.e. the bourgeoisies, to the proletariat. Meaning bourgeoisies ni, dia orang memang they want to be in power in order for them to be able to gain all the benefits. So you work like a slave, so money can be utilized by us as when that we like. So this is what actually happening in our society today. They want to be in power in order for them to get all the benefit and to abuse their position and get all the money that they can. The money is belonging to the rakyat, yeah, because we pay tax. So all of us work like hell in order for us to, we have to pay tax. Your parents especially, right? You are not working, you don't pay tax yet. But we are the workers, we struggle to survive, and then at the same level we have to pay the government in order for the government to take that pool of money, in order for the government to give back to the society in terms of infrastructure. Okay, all the roads, all the bridges, or the museum, or the government servants are being paid by the tax. So if you were to take this all amount of money and abuse it towards your own choice, meaning giving these perks to influential families, the kalos, the kalos. So that is considered as wrong. This is what Marx is saying, that he doesn't like this concept whereby the presidential or what do you call it, prime minister, that system is actually a system that can be easily abused towards the victims of the abuse would be the rakyat. Okay, so that you can apply in this situation by giving your opinion from the perspective of Marx. Yeah, he says the law is being oppressed. It's a tools to be a medium of oppression. So it is clearly been seen. Now you put your own words in. It can be clearly been seen how corrupt President Bumba, and by giving financial perks to a certain group of people. However, he is being supported by his group of supporters, meaning members of parliament, who kept him in power. Meaning, in this situation, the abuse is not only him. Obviously, if they are so truthful, members of parliament are so truthful towards changing the government, corrupt government, then obviously he is no longer able to win the votes of no confidence. But in this case, he is keep on winning the vote of no confidence, meaning all the other members are also corrupt. We are not looking at President Bumba. We are talking about everyone of the member of parliament doing the same thing. Otherwise, it is obvious. Yeah? So this is what Marx is saying, that the fact the system that we apply is able for abuse to take place, and whenever abuse is taking place, the one that is going to be really suffering is the rakyat. Okay. That is what Karl Marx is saying. Boleh pakai tapi you kena olah lah. You kena pakaikan the fact that dia ni ada gunakan duit tu sebenarnya duit rakyat, and then the fact that dia tak pernah jatuh walaupun ada orang kata dia vote of no confidence. Why? Because dia ada support of the member of parliament, meaning the member of parliament pun jahat. So you can from the first paragraph tu you kata dah dan memang dia orang jahat, therefore sepatutnya kena buang lah, sepatutnya you have to remove them. Okay, so here coup kalau kita pakai Marx, coup is valid. Marx kata memang pun kita kena buat revolution towards the society, towards the government, sorry bukan society, towards the government who is who are who conducts certain things that is oppressive in nature. How can you give money that is belonging to the rakyat to some group of people? It is not justified. And then you can add on PGS pula nak masuk, even though they might seems to be minimal violence and things like that, still they are people of corrupt, lagi teruk daripada Presiden Bumba, because they it is obvious the way that they can gain the empire that they have is by virtue of arm trading, poppy crops, money laundering. So all these activities are abusive in terms of the rakyat, because obviously lah kan, kalau dia buat arms trading is to create war. You create some dispute in order for you to be able to sell. So dia mesti ada supply and demand. So in this case, arms trading is macam America lah. The business of war is good business. So they attack other country. They make sure that everything in the country macam Syria sekarang musnah. Segala-galanya semua kanak. They will come in later and say, excuse me, we are the hero. We have these companies to develop back your country. So give us the contract and so on, and it will last like 10 years punya contract to rebuild the country. Can you imagine how much money that they are making? So the same thing dengan poppy mesti ada demand, mesti ada supply and demand. Kalau kita create, kita ambil China where they were influenced by the British was it British or America? Okay, they were influenced under poppy, right? Under drugs, in order for them not to be able to stand up or to be developed. So it is a means of a new way of controlling a country at that point of time lah, by giving poppy drugs. So it is not good. That is abuse the society by not having them realize their potential. Okay, dia cuma akan jadi hamba je. Sama dengan money laundering. It is against the negativity that they are doing is towards the society. Boleh nampak? Remember, I know every one of you kalau nampak soalan ni macam mana lah aku nak jawab soalan ni kan. Tak apa. You take it step by step. You take 1% of the jurist and then look at what he or she is. Ada dan she lah, juris tu ada she lah. Tapi juris semua ni kita ambil for that particular person, what is his idea, and then you try your best in order for you to relate that idea of his to the problem that is given. So you can go free. This is where you are able to come up with your own thinking or your own rationale. Okay, maybe it is quite difficult because you are being dictated to answer, to have a correct answer. Remember, jurist is not about dictating for you to have a correct answer. It's just asking for you your opinion. Itu je. So opinion can be right or wrong. If your opinion is wrong sekalipun, dia akan jadi macam contoh kalau jadi wrong you cakap tentang Kelsen tapi you apply 8 Desiderata. That is, you are not getting any marks. Okay, you're talking about grand norm and then you pergi cakap civic ni punya spirit. you salah perkataan granom tu, you pergi ganti dengan spirit, meaning you dah change that particular juris punya apa principle or principle idea, habis lah. And you cannot get marks for that. Definitely you are not going to get marks. Yeah, it will be a big cross because you don't know what you're talking about. But if you are talking about civic need and then you are using the spirit of the people, you can link it up to the situation and saying that he is still in power no matter what, people are still supporting, and that is the system that we have. Parliamentary apa kata election is the member of parliament. You are talking about member of parliament, is there must be a legal system, right? So you utilize all the information that you have received from Asasi until now about your knowledge towards how MLS in particular, kan, national legal system, kan, how parliaments, separation of power and things like that. It is the system that is being applied by the society, so you cannot run away. You know, that is the spirit of the society. They choose that kind of legal system, or the in this case the presidential punya system. Yeah? So it depends. So you balik kepada the principle whereby the spirit. How do you reflect spirit dalam soalan ni? Dan you carilah. Itu yang I kata tu, you are free to do whatever you want. Don't worry. Okay, the problem for student is whenever they answer the exam question, they are so afraid in order to put down your opinion. You are not doing your own personal opinion. Kalau you start off without putting the juries first, then it is going to be your own opinion, which is another cross. Okay, tadi kalau you cakap juris A, then you letak principle of juris B, salah. Tapi kalau the moment you letak your own opinion juga akan salah besar. Yeah? A big cross is going to be put in. However, if you still want to talk about that particular jury and your opinion of what is going to happen to the situation that is given with regards to their juries, then you are okay. You are fine. Okay. In fact, kalau you bagi macam you buat keluar marks kan, you can see that there must be a coup, yeah, there must be a revolution to change the government, irrespective. Not you are saying that you want to choose PGS as your new new group because they are not worthy. Okay, kalau Marx kata we don't need all the government, laws will withers away. Kalau dia kata there is no religion, itu yang orang kata Karl Marx kata tak nak religion. Lenin bunuh sampai berapa puluh juta orang mati, so does Mao Zedong and things like that. The fact that that is Marx punya idea, we don't take that lah. Kita cuma letak Marx towards the manipulation of the society by those who are in power. This one, kalau ambil Bumba pun sama, ambil the PGS pun sama, yeah, because they are going to abuse the standing, meaning the economy is going to be tarnished, just because they are in power. So it has to be ruled by the society. You don't need law anymore because the society is actually control the country, the society is controlling the country. Dia banyak, kalau you nak baca online, dia boleh you tengok Switzerland, yeah, how Switzerland is controlling their government, how the society controls the government. Every now and then, dia ada 4 kali, if I'm not mistaken, they will have balloting. They can change the constitution by referendum. So go online and look at Switzerland, yeah, how they do things. They are very active. So this is what Marx is saying. Eventually, kalau kita put the society control to the member of the society without any leaders, then tak ada issue of abuse that is going to happen. Okay guys, panjang dah 5-8 minit. Mesti nak tengok soalan lain tak?
Before we proceed, sir, I mean, it is clear in terms of application of the theories, but then how do we actually construct and issues?
No. You don't have to. You don't have to be in terms of issues. I like punya. Don't ever do that. Kita ni dia essay ya. Dia essay. Even though it is a problematic, it must be approached by virtue of essay. Because kalau kita kata I like, kenapa ni problem, saya kena pakai I like lah. We are not settling problem. We are just giving opinion. So if opinion is just opinion. Jangan takut So there is no true answer dalam soalan ni. Ingat, the question is just to check how macam mana? Ya, dia tak tengok you geliga ke tak? Itu tak? How macam mana? Geliga in English is what?
So what we have to do is just we have to construct the main point to guide the examiner along the line.
Pinpoint mana maksudnya? Macam mana sebelah?
Maksudnya first we construct a main point that talks about the first paragraph, and then second point on the second paragraph, and then the third point on the coup d'etat.
No need. You don't do that. Otherwise it will be a structure. Nanti you kunci dalam structure tu. Okay? Yang you cuba bayangkan now everyone, you must be able to do this. You reflect how many juries that you want to discuss in this question. Then you put next to the question on a piece of paper. Then you say, I want to talk about Fuller, I'm talking about Civigny, I want to talk about Kelson, I want to talk about Aquinas. Okay, so 20 marks, 5 marks each, okay lah, boleh lah, 4, right? So now with that 4, each one of them you have to tackle the same problem, which is the whole question itself. You don't put it as paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. When I did that just now, is just to give some kind of process. Bukannya kata, oh, we have to do in this manner. No, you ambil semua in total. Kalau you ambil semua statement yang dibuat in total, then you are talking about the whole problem or the whole situation that is given to you with the opinion of the juries. Itu je. So you take the juries, the sebelah kiri, tangan kiri you, and then tangan kanan you problem. And then you clap your hands. That's it. How you do it, nak clap your hand is up to you.
I see, sir. So what we have to do, our main point should be the theories of the juries lah.
Yes, always stick to that.
Okay.
Always stick to that and then try to link up. And then kalau lah you kata nak bagi example, a real example, for example you nak bagi a statute ataupun you nak bagi case law, you can do that. You can do that, tak ada masalah. Tapi jangan try to avoid giving example. Creating your example, no. Avoid giving example or creating an example to elaborate your idea. Don't do that because you are not getting any marks. In fact, it is just it's a waste of time.
So sir, does it include giving illustrations as example also prohibited?
Macam mana sekali lagi?
Okay, you were saying like avoiding giving example. What about examples such as quoting some sections from a legislation act?
Itu lain. That is we are talking about statute or cases, So yes, you can do that. Tak ada masalah. Nampak ada beza kan kat situ because you are taking provision of section or articles within the federal constitution to as your example, then you can do that. The thing is that you want to go and create your own example out of nowhere, how do I put it? Ada kan kalau you tak tahu, you nak explain to somebody else and then you want dia contoh macam ni. We talk about HAD primary and secondary, right? So you want to explain about HAD primary and secondary rules, tapi you are so familiar when I said primary rules is equals to like Quran to Hadith, right? So other student yang towards the final, they come back and write down to elaborate hard by virtue of Quran primary and secondary. Wrong. That is definitely wrong. You will not get any marks. It will be a big cross there. How can you similarize hard with primary and secondary rules with Quran? It is just merely my example that I give you in order for you to understand, you know, the situation. But actually kalau you baca hard, there would be elements that needs to be there within the primary and secondary rules. Boleh nampak?
Boleh sir.
Boleh Lagi siapa nak tanya soalan? I like you to ask question. So I boleh explain, and since it is recorded, then you can always go back and listen, and how you will look at another question by hearing of what I said just now dalam kita punya discussion ni. You should be able to practice. Now the problem with student, they just don't want to practice. One is because they are unable to understand the juris. Two, after even though they understand, they have no idea of how to apply. Now the application is an art of experience, an art of you know, daring to do to do some mistakes. Yeah. All the mistake yang I dah cakap tadi ada kan. So mistake of not confusing juris punya principle with another juris, that is one mistake that is a big no-no. Introducing a juris that is not under the syllabus. Okay, itu yang I kata buat kamaks kan. Tapi since I dah cakap kamaks boleh, you can put them in. Tapi any juris that is mentioned dalam what they call it, the yang Cik Nazim bagi kan, lesson plan tu boleh pakai, right? Because itu yang dia dah cakap. So other than that, you tak boleh you jangan ambil yang Indian punya philosopher ke apa ke, tak boleh. Okay. Another key element that you cannot do is by putting your own fictitious, you know, your own creation of an example. And then the fourth mistake is attacking the question by virtue of your own jurisprudential punya idea. Remember, you and me, we are not at any level of juris, because juris, in order for them to come up with that idea of their principle or model that they created, they have to withstand the members of peers at the same level. So when they establish books, they create articles, you know, they present to people, and then people discuss, people reject, people accept, you know, people comment. So they have gone through the standard to be able to say it's a good model for to be accepted by the society in terms of judges and juries lah, in terms of jurisprudence. So whenever we want to apply, we have to apply that rather than apply your own. So if I were to do my idea, I have, you know, my book, right? If I were to say my theory of arrogance, my theory of arrogance is not yet tested with the my peers. So if it's being tested and many support my theory, then it should be something that can be used for students to say, let's look at this particular theory of Haris, right? He says that theory of arrogance is this is the nature, and let's apply to the problem. Does it more or less come to a conclusion, a logical conclusion? Nampak tak? You never ever open up your answering and by attacking the question with your own ideology, with your own perception, you know, with your Islamic principle that you have, you know. You ada a few student yang I dah check, dah buat, dia orang tak boleh jawab langsung soalan exam. Why? Because they are so Islamic. When they are so Islamic, they cannot have another views that is non-Islamic. So tak boleh jawab. Fail, memang fail. You know, you are unable to speak up because you cannot, you won't, your mind is rejecting all those juris. So Kelson pun because dia bercanggah dengan Al-Quran, you know. Had mungkin you kata okay, had ni nampak dah ada similarity kat situ, but civic ni mana boleh pakai spirit of the society, because Al-Quran is very clear, whatever is in Al-Quran is our command, you know. Then you're going to be in big problem. Don't do that. Respond?
Okay, sir. But sir, I have a question.
Good, thank you.
My question is about finals. During
Ah,
finals, is there any word limitation?
Words limitation, there is not really actually, because if you were to lengthen your answer, obviously it is going to be it's going to go off the track. You know, if you go into lengthiness, there is no correct. If you go if you shorten your answer, it will not be enough. So there is no right and wrong answer in terms of how long it should be, because the discussion, bila you discuss, you akan puas discuss benda tu, and then you know how where to stop, because there is nothing else for you to discuss. Say for example, you nak discuss marks, yeah, you nak discuss hard. When you open these people up and then you want to discuss them, talking about the idea of them, and then the principle or the model that they came up with, and then you are trying to apply. That's it. When you do the application, dia akan orang kata orang kata akan habis minyak tau. You akan habis minyak. You cannot be trying to lengthen your answer by like orang kata lagi banyak tulis, lagi banyak markah dapat. No, it does not work in that manner. Okay. But kalau you jawab, ada yang student yang jawab satu muka je and markah 20, mana boleh bagi markah 20? You know, you do not give me an opportunity for you to for me to evaluate you and your writing, and you only write one piece of paper, one page saja. Definitely you akan dapat 3, you know, per 20. Because you mana we boleh discuss benda tu. This is about writing, this is about flair of argument. So within one page memang susah. Ada jugalah yang ada 2 page tu memang very high English punya apa dia standard, high English standard, dia boleh dia boleh sampaikan all these people, you know, in a very short and concise punya argument. But normal student, you just maintain, you bila you tulis, yeah, we have 1 day for you to do that. So while preparing yourself, obviously the writing itself, you know where you are supposed to stop. Okay, kalau you terlebih dah nampak mengarut dah. Okay, you nak mengarut because you nak bagi panjang dengan harapan I nampak panjang, I bagi markah lebih. No, it doesn't work. Kita akan tengok who do you present and how do you relate to the problem. Itu je. Who do you present and whether you are able to link up the principle to the problem. Itu je. 2 benda. Kan, tangan kiri is the jurist, tangan kanan is the application to the problem. If you are able to merge them, buat jadi clapping, okay, you are able to clap, then it's okay lah. You are there already. Boleh?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Do you want to proceed with the discussion further? We can look at other question if you want to. Ataupun kita
Sir,
yes. Yes.
Can we apply using I lupa pula nama dia. Mills-Ham principle?
Boleh? Boleh juga. Okay. Kalau kata Mills, you nak pakai Mills. You know that Ham principle is Mills punya idea kan? Harming other people's physical or rights, right? He was saying rights rather than physical lah. Betul tak? So kalau you kata rights, look at the President Bomba. Adakah dia go against people's right? The act of giving away financial perks?
Not sure, sir, but What?
Tak apa. You can be on your own in saying in coming up with your own idea, your own interpretation. Macam mana you rasa? Kita tahu dah HAM principle, yes. So kalau nak apply HAM principle dalam Presiden Bomba ni macam mana? How do you know whether he is hurting or not? You tengok dia punya information that is given. Bomba survived numerous votes of no confidence. Member of Parliament kept him in power, you know, more than 30%, which I don't know how many lah. Dia tak cakap kan. Tapi nampak tak? If you're talking about Presiden Bomba, he is acting in a way that is not actually hurting from Mills punya perspective lah ya. Because it is within his purview of to give certain privileges. Kita panggil apa? Apa yang government pakai buat ni? Favoritism ni.
Nepotism ke?
Nepotism, nepotism ni. Everyone that is in power will be in the position of doing that. But is there law to prevent them from doing so? How come that those people who are no longer in power were not being taken action against? If there is a law, why not the second the next incoming leader take action against the outgoing leader? So it is about proof. It is about, you know, people can. So here we can cite in supporting the situation of President Bomba by virtue of Mills, say that it must go to the extent that the hurting or the you must hurt the physical position by virtue of the right that is being provided under the law. Kalau lah kata macam ni tak nampak pun, dia kata vote of no confidence is just like nothing lah. You tak suka orang tu, memang you boleh buat vote of no confidence. Apa yang dia buat tak ada apa-apa pun. You know, ni looking from Mills point of view lah, dia kata free lah. Mills doesn't like the law to come in and dictate our life. So he says that whatever he wants to do, he thinks that he is able to influence Carlos and Carlos can bring benefit. Sama dengan kita pun. Kenapa kita punya concession or AP yang kita ada permit untuk bawa masuk, kenapa Nazar dapat AP? Kenapa negeri-negeri raja-raja dapat certain AP untuk bawa masuk benda-benda? Kenapa dia orang dapat? Kenapa orang lain tak dapat? Kenapa you know, so many things that you can you know, argue, saying those are the things that you can take in lah kalau nak bagi example, because benda tu real example. Okay, kalau you tengok sugar, siapa pegang sugar? Kenapa dia orang ada sugar ni di monopolize by a certain people? You know, kenapa kita ada tax? Whereby tax of imports vehicles nak masuk Malaysia kena berapa puluh persen, or maybe around roughly about 80%. You know, kat Thailand kereta Civic harga 70, kenapa kita kena jual 150? Where the amount of money yang 2 kali ganda tu datang pergi mana? Pergi kat kerajaan lah, because of the tariff. So we have all this being implemented by the government to ensure the sales of local goods, or local vehicles are in demand. Okay, kalau kita tak buat macam tu, kita tak naikkan tarif untuk import vehicles, then our sales of Pro 2 and Proton cars are going to go, they are going to go out of business, because nobody likes to buy local cars. I would prefer to buy Continental cars that is more performance, you know, more better in all kind of features yang dia ada. Okay, or Japanese for that matter lah. We don't like Malaysian car, Proton, walaupun Geely dah take over Proton, right? The Chinese are taking over, but the stigmatization of Proton punya unworthiness. Kalau kami, me for that matter, dulu kami ada Proton Saga. So kami panggil Sagabo. Our vehicle semua ada nama. So kami panggil dia Sagabo. You tahu apa dia bo? Sagabodo. Okay, finally, recently, 2 months ago, we managed to get rid of, okay, bye-bye Sagabo, that's the end of our relationship. Now we have Jantan coming in, our Prodo Arus. So, you know, why we stick to it? Because we don't have money, you know. We don't want to spend a lot of money on vehicles. Kalau nak, those people yang kaya, dia tak akan tengok langsung Proton dengan Pro 2. Dia bukan beli kereta-kereta Continental, you know, or Alphard, you know, coming from Japanese linear market. Dia nampak. So what you have to do is, even though I'm sorry, my example that I'm giving, you can utilize in your answer, but this is where your knowledge comes in. This is where your maturity comes in. So whoever the juries that you want to take in, don't worry about being right or wrong. Itu yang masalah kita. Okay. The moment kita rasa, ish, betul ke aku tulis ni? You're gone. Okay. Tapi kalau you try to assimilate to the problem with the juries of your choice, you're going to be safe. Yeah. So that is the mindset yang I nak you all to be you know, not to follow. I mean, you have to be free in terms of doing that. Tapi bila cakap free tu bukannya anything goes, ya, tak boleh lah. It must be ada procedure. Apa prosedur tu, dengar balik apa yang saya cakap tadi. Okay?
Alright.
Guys, soalan? Tak apa, kita masih ada kelas sampai pukul 6, tapi it depends on questions. I tak nak lah kesian orang yang duduk kat dalam ni. Tadi dah 50, sekarang dah 35. So for you yang 35 orang, you are using your data. So I don't want you to waste your data. If you don't want to ask question, jadi what's the point of us to continue? Ada tak soalan? I don't would like to dictate, but dictating, Atika, macam mana Atika? Azwani, ada tak? I think that triggers people to ask questions.
Sir,
Azwani, yes.
saya
Syaidah.
Syaidah.
Okay, Syaidah.
Boleh dengar ke?
Boleh.
Okay, sebab saya cakap kita tak boleh nak include kita punya create our own juries ataupun ideology perception ke macam tu kan. Tapi saya juga cakap yang kita kena include our own comment, tapi tak perlu lengthy sangat pun. Maksud comment kat sini sekadar kita analyse the overall yang kita nak apply kat atas tu, maksudnya macam nak kata macam analisis kita tu, tapi in terms of macam mana.
Okay, good question. Kita nak bila I kata your own opinion tu, bila you apply to the problem. Maksudnya you ambil principle juris tadi, now you are able to apply to the problem. Itu maksudnya your own words, your own opinion towards the problem that is given. Bukannya you pergi ambil your own opinion from somewhere else, you know, and try to put it as your argument. Cannot, that is wrong. Nampak?
Contoh sir?
Contoh, okay, lagi macam ni, tadi kita kata Karl Marx kan? Kita kata, saya ambil simple lah, senang sebab Karl Marx ni orang nampak clear sikit. Kalau kita ambil Karl Marx, okeylah kita ambil Karl Marx. Kalau kita ambil Karl Marx, tengok soalan ni, right? Kalau you tengok Karl Marx, looking at this problem, Karl Marx akan kata mengarutlah semua ni. Okay, Presiden Bumba ni sepatutnya kena upset dah, kita kena revolt against President Bumba. Why? Because every one of them is corrupt. Kenapa everyone corrupt? Ingat apa yang saya cakap ni, apa yang you tulis. Kenapa saya kata dia corrupt? Tengoklah dia dah ambil position dia sebagai Prime Minister and then bagi pula perks dekat certain family. Obviously certain families tu orang yang sama level dengan dia lah, mesti ada benefit yang dia dapat, you know. And then kalau dia kalau orang menteri ni, dia akan rapat dengan raja-raja, dengan menteri-menteri yang lain. No wonder lah menteri-menteri, tengok ayat saya, No wonder lah menteri-menteri lain yang tengok support dia. Sebab numerous vote of no confidence dah di exercise tapi masih juga dia maintain dalam position of confidence. Tengok member of parliament yang support dia. Right? Dia orang lebih 30%. Teruk lah. This is I mean everyone should know that he is doing something that is wrong. But yet they are supporting him. Those are your opinion. Apa yang saya cakap tadi, itulah perkataan yang you comment when you apply marks dalam position ni. Nak tambah lagi? Okay, ni ayat saya nak tulis macam mana. So in continuing the argument, Marx looking at this, he would definitely want the society to took over the society by doing this revolution, and they are to establish their own system, their own legal system. And this legal system is just temporary, whereas eventually it will fade away and the society would not have any any leaders. So the whole society becomes their own leaders. Okay, can you imagine the whole society would be their own leaders, as compared with the current situation where we appoint people to be our representative, to be our leader, to make decision for ourselves. But for Marx, he is going against that. Apa yang saya dah cakap tadi, semua dia adalah perkataan yang keluar daripada otak you, daripada your thinking. Nothing is on your own, but you are applying what is Marx punya idea to the problem. Boleh nampak?
Maksudnya ni macam along the way nak apply, bukan dekat macam conclusion macam tu.
Conclusion, there is no conclusion. Remember, dalam jawab juris, there is no conclusion.
Okay, faham.
You can be wrong, it's okay for you to be wrong. Kata apa student ni mengarut dia dah pakai. Tapi as long as you are asking my opinion it can be right or can be right. It can be right or wrong. Okay, you can agree to agree, you agree to agree or agree to disagree. It's up to you. This is, you ask me your ni, you boleh jawab macam kat I lah, macam seolah-olah nak lawan dengan I kan. Dia kata lah yang tanya opinion. Dan orang bagi opinion, kalau nak salah pula. You know, if I don't like that kind of opinion, I have to respect your opinion because that is how you see things. That is what we want you to do. That is where you want to be. That allows you to be part 7 and part 8 punya student. Okay, di sana you dah matured. Why you are matured? Because you are able to do this kind of things lah. You argue, you contemplate, you kata, you be critical about it. You know, you can do that. We are allowing, we encourage you to do that. That is the most important thing. We want you to be able to be critical about the problem that is given. Boleh?
Okay, faham. Thank you.
Okay. The rest ada lagi. Si Azmani ada nak tanya?
So meaning dari maksud saya tu yang opinion tu basically kita still kena kaitkan dengan soalan tu. Sorry, saya masih tak faham.
Betul. Opinion tu maksudnya opinion berkenaan dengan soalan sahaja.
Macam kalau kita masuk, contoh lah kan, okay, kita masukkan apa-apa yang what happened in Malaysia, macam tadi saya cakap regarding PF tu kan, is it boleh? Is it possible?
Boleh. Sebab you work under the juris, bukannya you work under your own principle. Kalau you work under your own principle pun logik juga kan, macam seolah-olah it's a good opinion. No, that is not jurisprudential punya opinion. It will be your opinion. Kalau your opinion memang pangkah besar.
Okay. And one more thing. Okay, since tadi kan Habib ada tanya, it's not an IELTS semua tu kan?
Oh no. Okay, it is not going to be that. Yes, okay.
Okay, so the way we start in answering this question, kita just straight away masuk juris, and then setiap juris tu kita kena kaitkan back to what the question asked. Kita kena cakap pasal yang okay, dia ada bagi some financial perks to orang yang dia kenal, and then walaupun dia ada vote of no confidence still, meaning every juris kita kaitkan dengan situation based on.
You bayangkan setiap juris yang you apply untuk problem, untuk you argue, akan dapat jawapan lain-lain tau. Kalau kita tengok Mills, kalau kita pakai Mills, Mills to this problem, tak akan jadi masalah. Tapi kalau you tengok Granom pun jadi the other way. The answer is going to be the other way around. Kalau you pakai Marx akan jadi benda lain. Kalau you pakai Aquinas akan jadi benda lain. You know? Benda, subjek, masalah sama tetapi outcome dia jadi lain. Why? Because the jurist punya idea is different.
Okay, macam okay, Kelson punya teori kalau Granom lain. Macam Savigny dia cakap apa yang diorang ni buat is diorang still able to continue diorang punya
betul
vote of no, walaupun ada vote of no confidence tapi the spirit is still not change sebab diorang still okay.
Kan because dalam member of parliament is the appointment system yang kita apply di mana member of parliament yang kita appoint to be our representative. So kalau dia orang nak maintain lah, nak buat macam mana? Macam lah Najib hari tu kan. Kalau lah kata the member of parliament is siding on his side, memang dia akan see in power. The moment dia jatuh is because dia tak boleh nak lari dah. Dia kena buat juga election. Knowing that memang waktu nak buat election tu orang memang tak suka dia. Lepas tu skandal terbuka sana terbuka sini, habis. So the one that change his position not being the leader would be the society. We go out to ballot, okay? Semua orang yang dulu saya support government, sekarang saya tak support government because saya rasa macam pasal apa saya nak sokong Najib, because he is a tyrant, you know, utilizing kita. Kenapa kita nak negara kita nak jadi macam Indonesia under IMF? When we have no money, hutang lah banyak, kita akan pinjam daripada IMF. So kalau pinjam IMF, tahulah Indonesia apa jadi. You know, they dictate, they become our new government, yeah. They dictate us. Yeah. Okay, habislah independent kita. So here what you want to do is to do that. Yeah, to be able to each one of them, you introduce their idea and apply. Introduce their idea and apply. Apply means your own opinion. Because A and B, you Azwani dengan orang lain, at least lain dia punya approach, lain dia punya understanding. Yes, you can be different. So don't worry about that. Kata, aku buat ni betul ke ni? Jangan pedulikan orang lain. This is you punya insight, you punya opinion.
Okay, sir. Faham. Ya, boleh dapat dah. Thank you, sir.
Azbillah, ya.
Tapi sir, berdasarkan soalan ketiga yang saya bagi tu, dia more to problematic, di mana last paragraph dia memang ada perkataan whether.
Tak apa, dia whether tu doesn't mean that you have to be in the position of sokong ke tak sokong. Nak buat macam mana? You pakai macam arithmetic formula lah kan. Kalau you pakai formula kalau you pakai mana-mana formula, okay, dia ada banyak formula kan. So kalau you pakai formula, itu jawapan dia, kenapa you nak kena kata benda lain? Kan, formula untuk Aquinas lain, formula untuk Savigny lain, formula untuk Kelson lain, Fuller lain, okay, Hart lain. So kenapa kita nak jadikan dia orang satu? Tak, dia orang ni berbeza. So kena respect dia orang lah. Dia orang punya idea berbeza. Walaupun dia orang nampak kadang-kadang sama, macam Hart dengan Austin, nampak sama tapi dia orang berbeza. So what you have to do is to introduce them. Ni saya nak cerita sikit. Ni Aquinas, ni apa yang dia idea dia, ni model yang dia kata. Dan saya boleh buktikan, tengok kita ada penal code, and then terus you masukkan dalam problem tu. Yang tang problem punya nak link up, there is no answer. You have the right to do whatever interpretation that you want. Cuma situ yang ramai tak berani, tak tahu macam mana nak goreng. You goreng lah macam mana pun. Yeah, as long as you are there talking about the problem that is given, you are going to be right. Cuma jangan lari lah, janganlah pergi, come up with your own opinion, you know, your own stand. Tak, kita jangan. You have no right to state your own opinion. I have no right to state my own opinion because we are nobody. We are not Jewish, not accepted throughout the world. Nanti kalau you jadi satu hari you become a very renowned jurist of the world, accepted throughout the world in terms of all the courts, then okay, then people have to quote you lah. But for the time being, we are learning how to apply the idea of jurist into the problem that is given. Itu kita nak belajar art. Art ni penting untuk you bila you keluar nanti, bila you dah naik part 7, part 8, you dah jadi lawyer, itu art yang akan stay. You tak akan ingat dah Austin dia apa. Kereta Austin tahulah, Austin dia apa. Dia tak ingat dah. Hard primary, secondary tak ingat dah. Marx tu apa saya? Marx ke apa? You dah confused. In the next 5 years, you won't be able to remember all these juries. That is not the idea of us. What we want you to carry on is the idea of being able to utilize an idea of a person and try to apply. So that is the one that you have to be excellent in. That is what we want you to stay on. You akan jadi orang lain selepas daripada juris ni. You are more critical, you are more analytical, you are more argumentative. That is what we want to stay. Itu yang bila kita masuk kelas, people don't want to ask question, people don't want to give opinion, people don't want to talk. Jadi kita risau. Because nak jadi lawyer, tapi critical mind of a lawyer is not there. Jadi risaulah. Kita punya practice ni, kita punya exercise ni is doing that. Actually kalau you tengok daripada part 1 sampailah sekarang ni, sampai part 8 sekalipun, memang itu je tujuan kita, nak bagi you pandai how to analyse things, how to criticize things, how to look at the perspective that is not able to look from other people punya perspective. So kalau you jadi lawyer, defending lawyer, or you are the one prosecuting ke, everyone mesti ada argumentative punya skills, analytical punya skill. That is what we are practicing you to become. It's not about the person. The person tu akan lupanya, don't worry. Dan dah the moment after the exam date tu, dia dah tak mau ingat dah. Even my name pun dia tak ingat. That is okay. Because what is in you that is going to stay sampai you mati is the art. The art of ability to see things differently, to see and apply, to be critical, Bila orang present you with an idea, you don't accept, From now on, people are trying to influence you by, people like to influence. Everyone likes to influence everyone else. So whenever somebody try to influence you, you would be critical about it. It's not about you being able to go back to jurisprudence. No, it is about your critical mind that we develop dalam juris. So if you want to know, that is the core reason kenapa kita nak you jadi macam ni. Kenapa kita nak you apply? Kenapa kita nak your opinion? Because it is a practice. It is a skill. Orang lain tak belajar benda ni. Orang belajar macam mana nak buat drawing, nak buat barang, nak buat bangunan. Kita belajar critical thinking. Because you are going to be in power. One day, you akan ada power in your hands. Then you don't want to be influenced by people just because they say so. No. It is not about you being influenced by some people. You have to have your critical analysis whether I should follow this particular group of people or not. Just because, for example, kalau orang datang kata, masuk dalam mass media, gay rights, international ada movement kata gay, kita pun kena ikut. No, we are not in that manner because we are the law people. We have to look at justice, equality, fairness. Kalau kita tak play a role in that, habis rosak kita punya society because they don't know our art. They don't know what we learn. Juris lah for one input. Sorry ini celoteh panjang. I want you to be able to free yourself and jangan takut. Boleh guys? You can do it. You can do it.
Boleh sir.
Boleh sir.
Boleh ya? Okay, Alhamdulillah. So recording ni saya akan bagi then you pelan-pelan lah dengar. Okay? So if it's not making any sense, come back to me and ask me for clarification. InsyaAllah Alright, so thank you so much for coming, spending your time, your money. Take care guys. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you sir. Take care.
Salam, thank you sir.
Salam.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys.
So next week kita sambung lagi 2 question tu.
Kita nak buat sampai kita dah pandai.
Okay, bisa.
Okay. Nabil, semua orang kena keluar. I nak end the session. Laili kena keluar, Farah, Hasif.